Over 2 million cars have been sent back to dealerships and automakers in the last 18 months. Buyers are returning cars, demanding refunds, and walking away from deposits they saved years to put down. Lemon law filings just hit the highest levels ever recorded. The brands behind the cars being rejected are not the ones you would expect. And if you bought a new vehicle from any major brand in the last 3 years, you need to hear why. So what went wrong with the vehicles rolling off American assembly lines? And why are millions of buyers saying the dream of owning a new car turned into a financial nightmare? Buying a new car in America used to be pretty straightforward, and understanding how simple it was makes what is happening right now even harder to believe. You walked into a dealership, picked a model, negotiated a price, and either paid cash or got a loan. Financing was simple. Banks offered auto loans at 3 to 5% interest with terms stretching 5 to 7 years. Monthly payments were predictable. Insurance quotes came back reasonable. If something broke in the first couple of years, the warranty covered it without an argument, and the car held its value well enough that when you were ready to trade in, you were not upside down on the loan. A guy could buy a $40,000 truck, drive it for 3 years, and still get $28,000 or $30,000 on the trade-in. That math made buying feel safe. You budgeted for the payment, budgeted for insurance, budgeted for gas, and you knew what you were dealing with for the next 5 years. Nobody was worried about whether the engine would seize on the highway. Nobody was checking NHTSA's website every month to see if their truck got added to a recall list. That was not a thing. Between 2020 and 2022, the whole market went crazy. Inventory was tight everywhere. Buyers were paying over sticker price just to secure a spot in line. Dealers were stacking deposits on vehicles that would not show up for months. Manufacturers could not build fast enough. Everyone in the industry expected it to last, but the conditions driving that boom were all temporary. Low interest rates, stimulus money, remote work flexibility, and pent-up spending from sitting at home during the pandemic. By late 2022, every one of those conditions had reversed, and the vehicles that people ordered during the boom started showing up right when everything got more expensive. But the price was not even the biggest problem. What happened to the quality of those vehicles is what turned a tough market into a full-blown crisis.
Between 2022 and 2026, the total cost of owning a new car exploded in every direction at once. Interest rates on auto loans jumped from around 4% to over 7% for buyers with good credit. People with average credit were seeing rates above 10%. Take a $45,000 truck financed at 4% over 6 years. That is about $705 a month. The exact same truck at 10% costs $850 a month. That is an extra $1,700 a year just in interest before you even turn the key. But interest was only part of it. Insurance premiums spiked after years of severe weather claims, catalytic converter thefts, and skyrocketing repair costs on vehicles packed with electronics and sensors. The average annual car insurance premium crossed $2,800 nationally. In states like Florida, Michigan, and Louisiana, it blew past $4,000. And the vehicles themselves got more expensive. The average new car transaction price hit $49,000 in 2025. That is up from $38,000 just 5 years earlier. Buyers were paying 30% more for the vehicle, 50% more for insurance, and double the interest on their loan. But here is where it turns ugly. At the exact same time that ownership costs were exploding, vehicle quality fell off a cliff. Ford issued 153 recalls in 2025, covering 12.9 million vehicles. More recalls than the next 9 automakers combined. GM recalled nearly 600,000 trucks and SUVs because their engines were seizing at highway speed. Toyota recalled the same engine 3 separate times in 4 years and still does not have a permanent fix. Hyundai and Kia are still dealing with an engine fire crisis that has caused over 3,100 fires and cost them a $1.3 billion settlement. And Honda recalled 1.7 million vehicles because the steering locks up in the middle of a turn. This is not one bad model from one bad brand. This is every major automaker in America failing at the same time. Buyers were paying the most they have ever paid to own a car, and the cars they were getting were the least reliable in over 15 years. Can you really blame anyone for sending them back?
Consider what actually happened to real people across this country. A guy in Katy, Texas ordered a 2022 Chevrolet Tahoe, his family's main vehicle. He saved for the down payment for over a year and financed the rest. At the time, his auto loan came back at 5.4%. Monthly payment was $680. Insurance ran about $210 a month. Gas for a 6.2-liter V8 running regular errands and weekend trips was about $250 a month. His total monthly cost of ownership sat right around $1,140. He could handle that. Fast forward 2 years. He had just crossed 42,000 miles when the engine died on Interstate 10 during his evening commute. No warning light, no unusual sound. Just silence at 70 miles an hour with 3 lanes of Houston traffic around him. He coasted to the shoulder and called the dealer. They told him it is part of a recall covering nearly 600,000 GM trucks, but the parts are back-ordered. He asked about a loaner. They said, no loaners available. He asked about a rental reimbursement. They said GM has not authorized rental coverage for his case. He has been making $680 monthly payments for 11 weeks on a Tahoe sitting in a service bay that he cannot drive, plus insurance on a vehicle he cannot use, plus a rental car to get to work. His actual monthly cost jumped from $1,140 to over $1,900. He filed a lemon law claim last month. The dealer told him, good luck. A nurse in Mesa, Arizona bought a 2024 Honda CR-V hybrid because she needed something reliable for her 35-mile commute to the hospital each way. She stretched to afford it. Her payment was $590 a month at 7.8%. Insurance came back at $280, more than she expected, but she made it work. 6 months in, the steering went stiff in the middle of a left turn at a busy intersection with her 2 kids in the back seat. She muscled through it, got home, and called the dealer. They told her they are aware of the recall, but service appointments are booked out 3 months. She asked what she is supposed to do in the meantime. They told her to keep driving it carefully. She has been white-knuckling every turn for 90 days in a vehicle Honda already admitted is defective. She demanded a full refund. The dealer told her to call Honda Corporate. Honda Corporate told her to contact the dealer. Nobody is taking responsibility, and she is still making payments on a car she is afraid to drive. These cases are not rare. They are everywhere, and the numbers prove it. In California alone, lemon law filings have tripled from about 4,500 in 2015 to over 22,000 in 2023 and 2024. That number is approaching 10% of all civil filings in Los Angeles County. Nearly 1 out of every 10 lawsuits in LA is now someone trying to send a car back. And GM is the single most sued brand in the state, targeted in roughly 1 out of every 3 lemon law cases filed between 2018 and 2021. But what actually caused every major automaker to start building cars that fall apart this fast? That answer connects every brand in this story. And it is the part none of them want you to figure out. Let's lay out the receipts, brand by brand, so you can see the pattern for yourself. GM's 6.2-liter V8 engine has been a catastrophe. 597,000 trucks and SUVs recalled. Over 28,000 complaints from owners. 14,000 reports of complete loss of power while driving. 12 crashes, 12 injuries, 42 fires. And GM knew about the problem long before they told anyone. They investigated it internally 3 separate times across 3 years, in 2022, in 2023, and again in 2024. Every single time, they closed the case and kept selling the trucks. It took NHTSA opening a federal probe in January of 2025 to drag the recall out of them. And the fix? Thicker oil and a new oil cap is already failing. NHTSA reopened the investigation in January of 2026, and a second recall covering another 286,000 vehicles could drop any day now. Toyota's 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 has been recalled 3 times for metal debris left inside the engine during manufacturing. Nearly 270,000 vehicles pulled back. Toyota's remedy is a full engine replacement at $25,000 per truck. And the replacement engines have the same defect as the originals. 4 years and still no permanent solution from the company that built its entire reputation on reliability. Hyundai and Kia's engine fire crisis has produced over 3,100 fires, 103 injuries, and at least 1 death since 2010. They paid a $1.3 billion settlement and $210 million in federal penalties. And they are still recalling vehicles right now for engine fires and melting fuel tanks. In December of 2025, 51,000 Hyundai Tucsons were recalled with a "park outside" advisory because 3 of them caught fire in people's garages. Stellantis posted a €22.3 billion net loss and changed how they calculate warranty costs on their financial statements. Ram finished dead last out of every brand ranked by Consumer Reports. Honestly, when you start changing the accounting instead of fixing the cars, that tells you everything about where the priorities are. If this is your first time on this channel, hit subscribe. I cover these breakdowns every week so you see the numbers before the dealerships spin them.
The crisis is hammering everyone connected to the car business. Dealers are drowning. They operate on floor plan financing, borrowing money from lenders to stock inventory, and paying interest on every vehicle sitting on their lot. When rates were low, that carrying cost was manageable. Now it is crushing them. A dealer carrying $5 million in inventory at 3% pays around $12,500 a month in floor plan interest. At 8%, that jumps to over $33,000 a month. Vehicles that sit for 4 months become aged inventory that requires steep discounts to move. And nobody is buying because the math does not work for buyers either. J.D. Power's 2025 vehicle dependability study hit 202 problems per 100 vehicles. That is the worst score since 2009. Last year, 13 major automakers paid out over $57 billion in warranty and recall costs. That is up 63% from a decade ago. And the CarEdge Car Buying Index found that only 2% of car buyers express high trust in dealerships and automakers to treat them fairly. 2%. That is not a trust problem, that is a market where trust does not exist anymore. Dealers are trapped holding cars that nobody trusts, financed at rates nobody can afford, built with quality that nobody believes in. Some are fighting refund demands in court. Others are quietly processing returns just to survive. I have been covering this industry for a while now, and I have never seen every single indicator pointing in the wrong direction at the same time. Here is the part that connects all of it. Over the last decade, every major automaker did the exact same thing. They took the big, proven, reliable engines and transmissions that made their trucks and SUVs bulletproof, and they replaced them with smaller, more complex, more stressed powertrains. Toyota ripped out the legendary 5.7-liter V8 that would run for 300,000 miles without a complaint and dropped in a 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 running razor-thin tolerances on the thinnest oil they could spec. GM pushed its 6.2-liter V8 into cylinder deactivation territory, shutting down half the engine at highway speed to squeeze out a few more miles per gallon, and the bearings cannot handle the stress. Ford went all in on turbocharged EcoBoost engines, forcing small engines to do big engine work, and the valves are cracking before the first oil change. Hyundai and Kia built 4-cylinder engines so tight that the piston rings fail and the cars catch fire in garages. Every single one of these companies chased the same shortcut: smaller engines, tighter tolerances, thinner oil, more electronic complexity. All to hit government fuel economy targets and pad their profit margins. And when the manufacturing slips by even a fraction, when metal debris stays inside the block or a bearing comes in slightly out of spec, the engine does not give you a warning light and limp home. It seizes at 70 miles an hour on the highway with your family in the car. I honestly believe these companies knew exactly what they were trading when they shrunk these engines down.
They traded your long-term reliability for their short-term margins. They built cheaper, watched them fail faster, recalled later, and let the lawyers sort it out. That is the pattern, and it explains why every brand in this video is in the same mess at the same time.
But buyers are not just walking away anymore. They are fighting back, and they are winning.
The average lemon law settlement runs anywhere from $5,000 to over $100,000, with full buybacks covering the entire purchase price minus a mileage offset. Some owners are walking out of mediations with checks that cover every dollar they put into the vehicle plus attorney fees. And new legal tools are shifting the balance even further. A federal law called the CARS Act will add a 3-day return window for used cars under $50,000 starting October of 2026. That does not cover new vehicles yet, but it signals where the momentum is heading. In February of 2025, a federal judge in Massachusetts threw out the auto industry's 4-year legal challenge to the state's right to repair law. Voters passed it 3-1, and the courts backed them up. Attorney General Andrea Campbell called it a significant victory for Massachusetts voters. The automakers actually threatened to stop selling certain vehicles in the state rather than comply. And the Federal Repair Act now has 44 House sponsors and 8 Senate sponsors with bipartisan support. Independent mechanics already handle 70 to 80% of out-of-warranty repairs at about 36% less than what dealers charge. This law would make sure automakers cannot lock you out of fixing your own car or force you into dealership prices for every single repair. For the first time in a long time, the legal system is actually moving in the buyer's direction, and the automakers know it. If you own a car from any brand in this video, here is what to watch and what to do right now. First, check your VIN on NHTSA's recall website today. If your vehicle is under an open recall, document every interaction with the dealer in writing. Dates, mileage, what they told you, what they did or did not fix. That paper trail is everything if you file a lemon law claim later. Second, know your state's lemon law thresholds. In most states, it is 2 repair attempts for a safety defect or 30 cumulative days out of service. If your car hits either number, you may be entitled to a full refund or replacement vehicle. Third, track your total ownership costs. If your monthly expense has jumped significantly since purchase because of insurance hikes, rate adjustments, or unexpected repair bills, document that too. It strengthens your case. Fourth, watch industry warranty costs. If the $57 billion number keeps climbing next year, the quality problem is getting worse, not better. Fifth, monitor recall completion rates. If automakers cannot get recalled vehicles fixed within 6 months, that tells you the supply chain behind the fix is broken. Sixth, pay attention to dealer inventory reports. If the average new car sits on a lot past 90 days, dealers are desperate and you have negotiating power. If it stretches past 180 days, the crisis is deepening and prices will drop further. Right now, every single one of these indicators is heading in the wrong direction. The manufacturers are counting on you not knowing your rights and not connecting the dots. Do not give them that advantage. GM's class action case is heading to federal court this summer, and NHTSA's investigation into the failed engine recall fix could force a second massive recall any day now. Subscribe so you get that breakdown before the dealers spin it.